is shaking her head silently, so I guess we will now move on to aphorism 217. Beware of those who attach great value to being credited with moral tact and subtlety in making moral distinctions. They never forgive us once they have made a mistake in front of us, or worse, against us. Inevitably, they become our instinctive slanderers and detractors, even if they should still remain our friends. Blessed are the forgetful, for they get over their stupidities too. I mean, yeah, this is kind of a continuation of the thing beforehand. This like idea of, you need someone whose moral system is explicit and not something that seems so nuanced just so it forgives them doing shitty things. Or am I misinterpreting that?
Sure. No, I mean that sounds right. Can you give me the first sentence one more time?
Mm-hmm. Beware of those who attach great value to being credited with moral tact and subtlety in making moral distinctions.
Yeah. So the idea is that the more complex the acrobatics you do in your morals, I mean, we see this happen, like, even in moral philosophy today, where it's like you go to a moral philosopher and ask, like, okay, how should I be living my life? And they might give you little tweaks here and there, but they're going to ultimately tell you, like pretty much what you're doing now. Just maybe, like, I don't know, like, eat less animals and shop at these stores instead of these other stores. And, like, that's going to be the ultimate big moral change that they want in your life. And the reason that they're able to try and justify that is that they make all of these subtle distinctions, and they have really long, complicated arguments about, really minute details of morals. And eventually it ends up coming out just to pretty much, like, live like this ethical philosopher already does. And so Nietzsche thinks that that's not something that we should look up to. That, people who have all this tact and ability to position their morals in this particular way, that's really not all that good.
That seems like neoliberalism.
What part of it?
The way that people on the left attempt to justify continuations of poverty at a large scale. The fact that you had to push people like Hillary Clinton so hard just to get them to even consider supporting the $15 minimum wage. Mm-hmm. And they justify it in ways of, like, impracticalities or ways that it might challenge, like, the capitalist system itself somehow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and of course, it would be one. So I think that's half right and half incorrect.
Okay.
I think that Nietzsche isn't here talking about politics as such. Mm-hmm. He's talking about, like, values.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if somebody thought, like, look, Hillary Clinton, is, incorrect in what she's fighting for and incorrect in the way that she's doing it, but she's better than Donald Trump, so we should vote for her, then that would be one thing. Right? I don't think Nietzsche's critiquing that.
Can I pause you for just 1 second?
Yeah.
The juxtaposition of Travis silently assassinating that guy in this conversation we're having is too much.
Yep.
All right. Continue.
Yeah. But so like, just the, like, expedient utilitarian calculation, not thinking that Hillary Clinton is, like, this great moral force. I don't think that Nietzsche's critiquing that here. What I think Nietzsche's critiquing are, and I assume there are people who, like, start from general leftism and egalitarian values and whatnot, and ultimately end up believing that really Hillary Clinton-style neoliberalism is the best way to do things. AKA, pretty much exactly what we're already doing, is how we instantiate these, values that have been around since the beginning of political philosophy and have led to massive changes in society. And so, Nietzsche's saying, look, often, like, if it's the case that that's based on making these fine distinctions and playing intellectual games to get that to come out the right way, then Nietzsche here is critiquing something like that.
All right. I wonder if that approach to... I wonder if we're not experiencing that kind of, like, widespread reproach to politics in the world right now.
How do you mean?
Well, I mean... Gosh, how do I say this? It seems like people are rejecting non-populist neoliberalism,
Mm-hmm.
like, around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's scary for historical reasons.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, no, I mean...
Is that something, like,
we should
hardwired
remember...
into us to reject at some sort of deep level?
Yeah, I mean, no, we should remember that, like, Nietzsche is a philosopher of great changes, right? And not always... And, right, like, each change brings with it its own morality.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even right in some cases to talk about good changes and bad changes. For Nietzsche, there's just change in history. And if you talk about it from an objective scale, each
Mm-hmm.
individual has their own values which they decide on, but in the general scale. And so, if the idea is that, look, you know, we've sort of outlived the utility of neoliberal values, and humanity is ready to progress beyond that to something new.
Mm-hmm.
Nietzsche would be like, yeah, give birth to that star. Do it. It'll be a great act. And you can see how he'd say that.
Right.